Yeah, well, it's still early days, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, it's still early days till we get to the end of the Premier League season, right? Yeah, we know Liverpool 4, Luton Town 1, right, at Anfield. But to say the least, man, it's still early days. We know that Liverpool now, they've now reasserted their control, on the Premier League title race, by overcoming a first half scare to beat Luton 4-1 at Anfield, right? And the fact that Luton, led through Chidiose Ogbene, after 12 minutes, as two early missed chances by Luis Diaz only served to highlight the absences of Mohamed Salah as well as Diogo Jota for a depleted Liverpool side in the first half, right? And then Van Dijk, headed the equalizer from a corner, turned, the game around, for Liverpool 11 minutes after the restart. And we saw Cody Gakpo knocking in from, nodding in another goal 125 seconds later, to actually put Liverpool in firm control of the particular encounter, from that point onwards. And then from there onwards, we just saw, Diaz, scored a third goal with less than 20 minutes to go before Harvey Elliott, added another, at the death to send Liverpool 4 points clear of second place Manchester City ahead of their much anticipated Carabao Cup final clash against Chelsea at Wembley Stadium, right? I'm actually looking forward to that one. It's a must win for both sides. It's a must-win game for Liverpool. It's also a must-win game for Chelsea, because basically the Carabao Cup final is a season decider for Chelsea. Yeah, remember Chelsea haven't really had the best of seasons this so far, so they need silverware to actually make up for the poor start that they've had and for the poor 2023 that they have had as well. Remember, Chelsea had a dreadful year last year in 2023, so at least a bit of silverware, which is the Carabao Cup, will actually make up for all those trials and tribulations that they went through following the departure of Roman Abramovich. I guess it goes to the fact that we should never allow politics to interfere with our football, but I guess it is what it is for the Blues, man. The Blues just have to get over it and continue with the good run of form that they have after securing a much needed result against Manchester City, because that was a much needed result. They could have even secured all 3 points had they taken their chances in the first half, right? They could have led that game by 3-0 at the Etihad. But look, let's just say this, man. It is a confidence, booster ahead of the Carabao Cup final clash at Wembley Stadium against Liverpool. So to actually say the least, Luton, who held their own for the best part of an hour. Now they suffer their third consecutive defeat and actually stay in the relegation zone due to Everton's far superior goal difference, right? Remember, Everton did have 10 points deducted from them, and it has actually affected them immensely. And you actually look now at Liverpool's full injury list. Mo Salah is out with the hamstring problem. Darwin Núñez is out with the muscle problem. Diego Jota, an injured knee. Curtis Jones, an ankle problem. Joel Matip, a knee problem. Trent Alexander-Arnold, a knee problem. Dominic Szoboszlai, a thigh problem. Thiago Alcantara is still out. He hasn't even featured this season. He's out with a thigh problem. Alisson is nursing a hamstring problem. Stefan Bajcetic is, it's unknown what injury he has, but he's still out, as well as Ben Doak. He's out with the knee injury. So that's all the injuries that Liverpool are having currently. So it hasn't really affected them that much, but they still have depth in their squad, at least, right? And for the fact that Liverpool, they needed, a fast start to the crowd. They needed just to put their crowd at ease at Anfield. With Manchester City, hot on their heels after Tuesday's 1-0 win over Brentford, but early missed chances by Diaz set a nervous tone at Anfield. So a ball over the top from Kelleher, standing in for the injured Alisson in goal, put the forward through, but his miscontrol saw the opening vanish, and moments later he fired wide with his left foot in the box, right? So remember, coming into this particular clash, Liverpool were without the injured duo, Mo Salah as well as Darwin Núñez. They were missing for Liverpool to add to their injury troubles, as the Reds now had to make 5 changes from that 4-1 victory over Brentford. Luton remained unchanged from Sunday's 2-1 defeat at home against Manchester United. So Luton did actually punish, Liverpool's, uncharacteristic wastefulness in front of goal as Ogbene headed in at the back post after Kelleher saved, Tineth Chong's shot with his legs, and the ball set up for the winger to score his third league goal of the season, right? So that was basically on the rebound. And then Diaz had 6 shots in the first 35 minutes, hitting the target once as he registered an expected goals tally of 0,067, right? Compared to Luton's 0,68 in the same period, right? So groans could be heard from the stands, which appeared to rile up on Klopp on the touchline. Luis Diaz, actually enjoyed a difficult first half, but eventually he did get his goal, the Colombian, finally, at least, And I guess from that particular moment in time, Luton took their chances at the back, in their build-up, but Liverpool failed to capitalize and had little luck from set pieces either, unable to convert from their 7 first-half corners. The tide turned on for Liverpool, ironically, from a corner as Van Dijk, rose up the highest to meet Alexis McAllister's, delivery to actually level the score in front, at the Kop, right? So Bailey had the supporters sat down before they were on their feet, to actually celebrate another goal, right? So the Argentine was on fire, man. I'm talking about Alexis McAllister, right? 2 assists in this particular encounter for the Argentine World Cup winner. We saw Connor Bradley, he took advantage of a Luton change as his quick throw found McAllister in space down the right, and the midfielder picked up Gakpo this time, who nodded in to actually complete the turnaround for the Reds. And then Luton, they kept on fighting. They had the fighting spirit in them. It was there, but there was an inevitability to Liverpool after they took the lead, which had to settle Diaz's nerves. He kept his cool after being played in, by substitute Andrew Robertson, to add a third with less than 20 minutes to go. So that was game, set, matched and done. So the visitors suffered a further blow, when Alfie Doughty, pulled up, injured. Soon after Liverpool's third, Issa Kabore was brought on to replace him. And then from that particular moment in time, we saw, in the final minute of normal time, Elliott marked his 100th appearance for the club. What a way, man, to actually get a goal. What a way to actually mark, 100 appearances for Liverpool, right? With a goal, to put Anfield in jubilant mood ahead of Sunday's trip to Wembley. Klopp had made up with the crowd by full time as he delivered his customary post-match first pumps. No wonder the victory ensures Liverpool will remain top until they return to league action, right? So we focused on the Carabao Cup. We focused on the Carabao Cup, ladies and gentlemen. The Carabao Cup. Yeah, man. So Liverpool, right? They're in great form. Their next game in the Premier League is a game away to Nottingham Forest on the 2nd of March. Manchester City, will also travel to Bournemouth on the 24th of February. And Newcastle United will be at home. You understand? Arsenal, I meant to say. Arsenal will be at home at the Emirates as they take on Newcastle United on the 24th of February. So let me tell you something, the title race will heat up. And this is actually a chance for Manchester City and Arsenal to actually catch up, to leapfrog Liverpool, right? Not leapfrog Liverpool, I meant to say, but to actually catch up, close the gap between themselves and the Reds, right? But Arsenal won't have an easy one against Newcastle United at home at the Emirates, right? But as for Bournemouth away from home for Manchester City, I think Manchester City will cruise to a comfortable victory. And remember, there is going to be a Manchester derby, the Manchester Derby on the 3rd of March, at the Etihad Stadium, right? And also, remember, Liverpool also have to play Manchester City on the 10th. So, hey, it's going to be back-to-back big games for Manchester City, right? It's not going to be easy for Manchester City, right? But we know this is Manchester City we're talking about. Big games are meant for them, right? So, you look at Liverpool, their victory, right? Liverpool have now scored. They have now recovered from 22 points. Liverpool have recovered 22 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season, more than any other side, and they are joined most in a single campaign in the competition. Also 22 in the 2008-2009 season. So basically, with an average age of 25 years and 68 days, Liverpool named their youngest starting 11 for a Premier League game since February 2018 against Southampton. So basically that was 24 years, 355 days. And then Luton are one of two sides alongside Sheffield United, yet to keep a clean sheet away from home in the Premier League this season. You know, the Hatters have shipped in 29 goals in 12 away games in the division this season, the joint most of any side on the road alongside Bournemouth as well as Sheffield United. So basically, when you also look at the fact that, you know, there were just like 125 seconds between Virgil van Dijk's equalizer as well as Cody Gakpo putting Liverpool 2-1 ahead against Liverpool. You know, both Dutch boys, the boys from the Netherlands, Oranje, Ons Oranje, Virgil van Dijk and Cody Gakpo, the boys from the Netherlands doing the job in just the space of 125 seconds to get Liverpool back in the game and set them well on course to actually claim an emphatic 4-1 victory over Luton from behind. So, Liverpool will take on Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley Stadium on Sunday, which will be 4 p.m. kickoff South African time, basically 3 p.m. kickoff London time, while Luton will host Manchester City in the FA Cup 5th round on Tuesday, the 27th of February, right? So, yeah, it will be an 8 p.m. kickoff London time, and then it will be a 10 p.m. kickoff South African time. So, yeah, those is what's next for Luton as well as Manchester United, right?